So we are like discussed SXA just like in our previous calls, and today we have to discuss Sitecore JSS. Okay, and next is development, how we can use the components what we are getting out of box in headless, and how we can create a component. Those type of things we can discuss today. But before starting on the components, any idea, Preeti, do you have about headless? What is headless and why Sitecore started moving into headless?
It's basically like for headless thing, we just fetch the data from backend in JSON format or something, and we pass it to front end. So mostly there is like decoupling of backend and front end. There won't be any dependency, so we can make
Mm-hmm.
any changes in backend.
Yep, that is correct. And in previous things, like we are having some issues with the like traditional structure. Like in most of the projects, we are getting issues of the site performance and those type of things. So to fix that, like there will be no performance implications in this, and like we are simply using the front-end technology. So now it will be easy to integrate Sitecore with another CMS as well. Okay, so like
Yes.
if we want to use, so the major of Sitecore is to enhance the feasibility of Sitecore to extend it to another CMS as well. Like as in our previous MVC architecture, if we use personalization, then we can personalize the component on a particular Sitecore website only. But through headless, we can easily personalize the Sitecore component on another. Like if any page is created not in the Sitecore but in Drupal or in any other CMS, we can personalize the Sitecore component and use that component on those pages as well. Because now we are using the front end technology, which can be easily managed with another CMS as well. So this is the like major advantage of moving into the headless part from the business perspective. But there are a lot more advantages of using the headless, like the performance thing, and we can easily get the data in the form of JSON through layout service. It is a kind of a API in which we can get data, so we can easily, like if we get the data in the form of JSON, so it will be easy to create the mobile applications as well. Earlier, we can create the website, but if we need to create a mobile application, then we need the data in JSON, and for that, like we need to write something custom. Like after Sitecore 9, we have OData as well. It is also kind of a API which can give the information of any Sitecore item in the form of JSON. So like for these things, we are moving into the headless thing, and I will explain you these things later. Like these we discuss in our first lecture now. So to have you done the setup of headless as well?
Mm, no, Kanjan, I haven't.
Okay. Okay, so to done that headless setup, firstly you need to install a package from the marketplace, like in previous versions of Sitecore, as we installed SXA as well. Right now, in Sitecore, when we're installing the Sitecore, we are getting a checkbox to install SXA along with it. But previously, like we need to download a package from the marketplace and we need to install it as a normal package installation we are doing in Sitecore. So similar way, there is a package in the Sitecore marketplace. I will share you that link from where you can download. Let me see if I is that. I think I shared in this setup. Yeah, there is this document as well where it will be down. So you can install it from here. Uh, these are the download options. So we can consider this option for XP, Sitecore headless service for XP. Okay, you can download this and install this package into your Sitecore.
Okay.
So let me give you that link in the chat. Hmm. So once you are done with this installation, then in Sitecore, I go to hmm. So now, after installation of that package, that headless package from the marketplace, so when you right click on this content, you will be able to see these options like to insert headless tenant and headless tenant folder. These two options will be added through installation of that package. But with SXA, you will be able to see these two like the tenant folder and tenant. Okay, so once we insert any of the headless tenant, so if I right click on this, so you will get another option to insert a new site like headless site, and this will create a site like as in SXA in the same structure like which is already existing in SXA, home, media, data, dictionary, and presentation settings. So we discussed the about these folders in SXA session. So you will see the similar kind of things in headless as well, like headless variants, like the rendering variants we discussed. Like if we want to show a component image on left hand side, right hand side, we can create multiple variants of a single component. Then page designs, partial designs we have. Then the styles we have. Styles is basically checkboxes which we can create based on the component and based on the requirement. We have available renderings, like to make the rendering available in the experience editor, so content authors can easily insert any of the component through drag and drop option. Then there's nothing in settings, like we can these are some of the out of box redirects they have provided, or site grouping. So these are the like basic things in headless site structure as well in Sitecore. Then what next we will do is, so the difference is like in headless, the site will not run through this site grouping as in SXA. Our site is taking the host name and target host name from here. But in headless, we have a concept of rendering host. Okay. So in system settings, then we have services. So here we have a rendering host. So like if I talk about this site Mega One, so on the rendering host we need to give the URL. So this is my application URL on which my application will run. Okay, so we can use any of the port number, but yeah, by like basic is like we are using this 3000 only, but we can use any of the port number here, and we need to give the application name here. So what this application name is, this is the name of my front end application. So like how to set up this front end application. Actually, we have a document as well. I will share that in the chat. So we did in our previous lecture the setup of headless, but you can go through this document and like if there are any doubts, we can discuss on that. This is the headless setup. So like as per this document, we followed all the steps. If I go through this document once in brief. Let's wait. Give me a second. I can open this is open with full copy. So these are the basic steps, like the prerequisites, like we install Sitecore 10.3 PowerShell headless service, like that package, which we need to install from marketplace. Then SXA 10.3 is also pre-installed with this 10.3 Sitecore. Then we need the latest version of Node. Okay, so we need the Node.js version. So you can install it from Google, the latest version. Then, sorry. So the base, give me a second. So the basic steps are like, as I mentioned, we can simply right click on the Sitecore content, insert headless tenant. Then under that tenant, we need to insert a site. So these are all the of these steps, like for SXA, which we followed, we need to give the site name, select all the modules. So these all are the basic things. So we need to configure the rendering host. Okay. Then, like once we are configured with this rendering host in the site core, let me show you. So like we can simply right click and insert as many as rendering host. So we can create a new rendering host as well, like test if I create. Okay. And now we need to point this rendering host on our site grouping. So this is that linking. So on the site grouping, if you see, we have a predefined application rendering host drop list in which we can select. Now test is also showing here in this list. So we need to make the connection of our website with the rendering host through this drop list. Then save this. So this is the linking in headless. So this is my site. It will link to this rendering host, and on rendering host, we have a application name of our front end application. Okay. And now, if I show you the documentation, so we can do that linking with the rendering host. Then we need to create an API key as well. Okay, so this API key is like in services only. We can insert a new API key, and there are no changes in that. We only need to keep it asterisk in course and allowed controllers. That's it. And what's the use of this API key? We need to use it at the time of installation, like in the further steps. So if you see this document, so we put these. So all the steps are mentioned in this document. Okay. Now install JSS. Now we need to install the front end application. So like all this structure, we haven't created this structure manually. It will be created automatically once you've done the front end setup. So you will get all these things. Okay. So how we can do that? Firstly, we need to run the basic commands. So simply create a folder in your C drive, like with the name of code or whatever you want to use. Create a blank folder. In that folder, firstly run this command to insert to install the Sitecore CLI. Okay, and after that, you need to run this command. So these are only 3, 4, 5 commands only which we need to run. And in this command, what changes you need to do is, like, you need to change your application name. Okay, so in our case, like headless Next.js app. When I created this document, I'm using I have created this application headless with the name of headless, and then host name. Here we need to give our Sitecore URL. Okay, Sitecore URL means this one till here. We need to give this URL and then run this command. So after running this command, your project will be created with all these default folders. Okay, you will get this output like your setup is ready and all those things. Then we need to connect our Next.js application with the Sitecore. So for that as well, like we need to execute few commands. So like run JSS setup. So we need to run JSS setup command. So it will ask few questions. So you need to answer them in this only. Like we need to give the Sitecore folder path, API key. We need to mention the key here. Okay, so which we have created. Then deployment secret, you can keep it blank. It will be automatically generated. So these are the few configurations, like all are listed. You need to use the editing secret like the same as your API key. So once you follow this document, you will be able to do the setup. So Priti, you can follow these steps because we already did this setup like in our previous session. So we followed all these steps and done with the setup. Now, okay, so like once we are done with the setup, so we have this headless application. So I was creating few components as well in this for the demo purpose, but yeah, we will create it from scratch, not the existing ones. So, so how we can run this application? First thing is, okay, so let me close this. So in a terminal, so either through CMD or PowerShell, or we can simply execute the commands in this Visual Studio Code terminal as well. So here, what we need to run. So JSS start connected. So in connected mode, if we execute this command, so what it will do is, right now if I show you that localhost 3000, it will not serve you anything. Site can't be reached. Okay, but once this will initialize our application. So it will take a minute or so. Okay, in the meantime, it is loading. Any questions like anything till now, till this step? Maybe like I think Ria already seen all these steps. So Preeti, from your side, like any questions or anything you want to ask?
No, Kanchan, not for now. I think I will go for the setup first, then I will have lots of questions.
Yeah. Display was not loaded. So now, once I load my application, okay, so this is the command, so which we executed. So headless demo is an application in Sitecore. So like I have, set up multiple sites. So I'm trying to execute this, but I'm getting some error. Maybe I have done something wrong in this, so I will check later. But with this application, headless demo, so how we will develop the components, how we will create the site structure. Let's see initially. So suppose if I have to create a home page, so we will consider the SXA architecture only. So we will take the partial design, page design, that approach only. So if I go to this partial designs, so what we can do is so I have created header earlier, but I'm going to create it from scratch. So let's create a new header. Okay. So if I right click on this partial design, insert a new partial design and give it as a name, new header. Now, what we can do is open this in experience editor mode. Connection to rendering host failed with an unauthorized access. Okay, maybe it's getting something that in this. step everything. This is another thing. Oh, what we can do is some. So, sorry guys, but I need some time. I will try to show this maybe in tomorrow's session. And the component creation, let's discuss something else because I need some time because I have set up lot of sites. I messed up something, so I need to figure it out. Offline, I will do that, and tomorrow we will going further. Like tomorrow, we will discuss the component creation and the existing ones. But yeah, for today, let's don't waste time. So I will show you if yeah, we have created this website. So I will try to explain you the experience editor concepts, how we can use like the concept of dragging and dropping the components in SX and headless will be the same. So the placeholder keys and all those things will be generated in the same way. So if it works, I will show you in SX for now.
Uh, Kanchan, you have opened so many tabs in a current window. Maybe Experience Editor will open properly if you close those tabs that are not useful, or if not, so you can open it in another window, in a new window.
Mm, yeah, let me try with that as well. But experience editor is this is the one of the major drawback. Like in most of the time, we will face the slowness with the experience editor. I will try
Yes.
to open in incognito. Let me try to open in incognito. Right. Finally, it's loaded. So, hmm. So like every page is having three parts. Okay, header, main, and footer. So right now we have opened this header partial design. Okay. So as you remember, we only created these partial designs in our previous call. So like header, like as it name says, like we created this partial design for the header only. Okay. So what we need to do is in header part, we need to add the components. So how we can do that? Like this is the header, this is the complete placeholder. So firstly, we need to divide it into two, three parts. Like here, if we want to show a logo, and here in middle, we need to show some navigation, like main navigation, for the further redirection of pages. And on right hand side, we want to give some button like contact us or that type of button. So we need three parts. So I think it is open two times. Yeah. So now we have all these out of box components in which we are getting in SXA. So in page structure, we have this like container, divider, and these type of iframe, splitter, row splitter, column splitter. So we can use these components to structure our page. So firstly, like we are in header. Okay. So let's add a container. Okay. There's no need to directly add the components in the header placeholder. We can take a container. Okay. So now this placeholder is container. Okay. What we can do is in this container, we can add a splitter column. Like we can split this container into columns. Select this. Now you see like this header has been divided into two columns. But for the logo, let's say as an example, we need only 3 by 9 ratio. Like right now it's 6 by 6, but we want 3:9. Then we can click on this tree icon. Now in more edit component properties. So we are, editing the component properties of this column component which we dropped. So right now, column one layout, you see like 6 has been selected in this. Select 3, then here select 9. So now click OK. So now my component, it is still, yeah. So now my column is divided into 3:9. So for any site, like we need a logo, or we can, divide it into 2:10 as well. But for now, let's keep it 2:9. Now in this column, what we can do is, like, if I want to add one more button over here, then let's do one more thing. Instead of 3:9, keep it 2:10. But like if we use it in this way, like 2:10, now what will happen? We have a placeholder now ready to add an image, but here we have a 10. Now how we can add another column over here? So this is a like challenge for us. So what we can do is, to achieve that, simply edit component properties. If I make it, instead of 10, I make it 8. Okay, now I am using 2 here, 8 here. So like my complete width of placeholder is 12. Okay. So now you see this is 2, this is 10. Now I have this thing, but it is not a placeholder. So what we can do is, so here, if I click on this tree, if I go to header, okay, or I can explain you. If you click on this tree, this is my complete columns which I added. And in columns, we have added a container. Like before column, we added a container, right? So in this container, what we can do is add another container. Let me go to back in header. If I add a new container in this header, let me add. Okay, so it is 2, and make it component properties selected 2. Now I have to adjust this over here. So if I go to this container and reduce this container size to 10, click OK. Now what I need to do is, so now you see I have another placeholder over here to add a button, any button or search icon, anything we can add. I have a placeholder here for the image, but we have this place empty. So what we can do is, as in our column, we have now this complete will be considered as 12 till here only. So 2 we are using, and now instead of 8 we can use 10. Hmm. So now our complete area is ready. Like we created a structure, like this is a placeholder for add image. This is for navigation. This is for any icon. So we are not, there is no need of doing anything custom. So this structure we already created by using the existing components. So any questions in this? Like I know, like it will be little bit new for you. Like if I think you're new to SXA, but I can create this structure again from scratch. Like if you want, if any confusion. Uh, Preeti, Ria, like anybody is any having any doubt, or do I need to create it from scratch again, or
I'm good. No question from my side.
Okay.
Kanchan, I have also no questions.
Okay. Okay. So like we need to create this structure. After that, like in this placeholder, we need to click on add here. Then on media, we have a option to insert image. So let's insert an image component. Okay, so image component is added. Now over here, if I save this, let's add for initially a single component only. Let me save this. Now will take some time. Yeah, it's done. So if you see this header on presentation details, you see like all the components you will be able to see in this like containers, column splitter, and image component, whatever we added. Now under header, you see like this is the image data source. So data source item, like if you check the data source over here on the image component, you see like it is fetching from the local means this context item. Then under that we have a data folder, then image one. So this is the image item. Now we can add any of the image. Let's try to complete this component. In media library and project, we have SX saver. We upload directly. Sure, which logo is this? But yeah. So we have added a image, logo image. Okay, save it in the media library. Then in, on item, let's browse and insert. Mm, why it is not able to see this image? Release. Let me see where I have uploaded. Hmm. Okay. So it is getting the images from this, but it should not. So what we can do is we can fix it. So on this media, turn off the row values and select this. Go into the project. we have SXLF. So select this. Save it. Now if I go to this item, browse, now we will be able to see the logo. So in SXL, like sometimes we are getting that issue, like images are not, we are not able to select the image after inserting into the media library. So we need to make sure like the connection with the media library is correct on this media folder. Okay, so that is like one of the reason these type of issues you will get sometimes, but it is a one time like as we set up initially. So let's save this image data source item. Now if I refresh this experience editor, maybe like I'm not able to see the image in this experience editor, but yeah, we can bind the site and try that. And other than that, this logo, then we can what we can do is we can add here, or for navigation, we can insert a navigation component. So right now it is giving about blog. So let me edit the component properties. So we can use horizontal data source. There's no need to provide data source. So we can do some basic configurations like our start page of site is will be home. So number of level of navigations we can also select like the top level and bottom level navigation. So bottom level navigation means like the number of child items, like the level of child items we want to display. Okay. Now navigation filter, main navigations. So these are the out of box some of the configurations if we want to include the root item or not. So basic settings we need to configure and click on OK. And then you see like we are able to see these two things into the navigation because right now we are having for our site under home, we are having only two pages. So if I create a new page, duplicate, uh, contact, contact, and refresh this. So now the options will be displayed in the navigation. And we can, change the styling. There are multiple style checkboxes. We can check them if we want to style it, or custom CSS we can also include. And these are the options like check to hide. Sometimes, if any of the page we want to hide from the navigation, we can click on this checkbox. If I want to hide this page from the main navigation, and if I try to refresh now, so now contact page is there in the sidecar, but it is still not visible in the main navigation. So like this is the process of adding the components in SX and in headless both. In headless as well, like we discussed tomorrow, we will discuss. We will drag and drop the existing components and create some custom components as well. But the process will be same. We need to create a structure initially. Uh, like in header partial design, we are going to create only header. Then after that, we have multiple partial designs. So we can create a footer, and when we are going to create a footer, we will update this placeholder, the footer one, and then we create a main placeholder like the detail page. For the detail pages, we will add the content in this main. And how we can add, the best practice is to initially put containers. So if I can add one container, So I can get one row. In this, like I can add one component, but another component if I want to add after this, so simply click on this tree, then add here page structure, add one more container. So now these placeholders will be expanded. You can see so now you see we have two placeholders. So both are in main. So we can add as many as components on our page. So click again on this tree. Now if I want to add any placeholder in between these two components, I can click here. And if I want to add on like first option, then I can click on this. And if I want to add at last, click on this add here. Then insert one more container. So like these are the multiple containers we can use, and in this we can add multiple components based on our requirement. So any questions like how we are going to use the experience editor, how we are going to create the structure and add the components in this?
No.
Okay, then if you guys are good, then we'll continue tomorrow on the headless components and we'll discuss them in brief, like the custom components and the existing one. But any questions or anything for today?
No, Kanchan. Kanchan, can you share the file with me, or how I will get that file of installation setup for headless?
Mm, I, I have uploaded this in chat itself. Are you able to see access this?
Yes, I got it. Sorry, I didn't see it earlier.
Okay, no issues. So like if any questions you can ask, otherwise let's connect tomorrow. I know it's too late for you guys as well, but yeah, tomorrow I will be ready. Ria, anything from your side?
No, Kanchan, I'm good. No questions from my side.
Okay. Okay then. Thank you so much. Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.